recording. Good. All right. So, hello. How's everybody doing? Hopefully, you found me on Rumble and found all the movies over there because, more and more people are leaving YouTube. Creators are leaving YouTube for Rumble because they can say what they want over there. There's no restrictions. There's no big mother trying to mother them and make them be safe. And, they don't even do copyright problems over there. So if you play somebody's music, if you get a copyright ding, you don't usually get it. But I'll just keep putting my movies up and my videos up and see what happens. See if anybody actually cares that I'm doing them, or if they're just not really caring that I'm doing this low budget. But background photos you see in there are photos that I've taken myself. And if I can ever find the room to do it, I may even do a photography channel. It is something that I do like to do. And we could be pretty good at it, have some fun with it. But who knows? We'll see what happens in that neighborhood. So anyway, we're going to talk about Captain America, the first Avenger. Now, this movie was kind of interesting, the way they started it off and the way they worked it out. So they started this movie off finding a aircraft or UFO under the ice in Antarctica. And this was placed during World War II in 1942. So then they go back in time to where this little scrawny kid, probably 4'9", tries to enlist in the military with asthma and all kinds of fun stuff they didn't want him to have, all kinds of physical issues. And he went to every recruiting center he can get to, trying to get them to take him to be part of the military because he wanted to serve his country like everybody else. Boy, oh boy. Then one place he got lucky because he had lots of heart. And one of the medical technicians approved him. Well, the medical technicians approved him. And then he goes through boot camp and they complain him because he's there. And, they told everybody to get a flag. And he got, they were running and he was having trouble keeping up. And Everybody tried to get a flag, and they were all told to go. And then he walks up, looks at them, pulls the pin, lays the flag over, and hands the captain or sergeant, whatever, the flag, and gets his ride back to the Jeep. I thought that was interesting how he did that. I mean, you sitting there watching the thing, you can see it, even when you first watch it. This is a movie I suggest you get and put in your collection and keep it there. Just keep it there. Which I kind of don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see what happens there. Then he gets picked by this program. He's the one that stands out, even though he's short and scrawny at the time. So they take him downtown. I don't know. I'm going to say Chicago because they're talking about the World's Fair. And he's in the World's Fair trying to get into the military, signing up. And see what happens, see if he can get in. So that's where he got in. And this movie actually had Tommy Lee Jones in it. He was the captain, and he had a lot of big names in it. He was the captain at the base where he got made. Then they took him to a medical facility in town, disguised, with false doors and passwords and basement and all kinds of stuff in Los Angeles, or in the city where they were training him. They didn't say. Anyway, so they took this kid in there and they put him into a box with lots of power, lots of lights, lots of bells and whistles, and injected him with something. And when he came out, he was Captain America. He was now 6'5", big, strong, healthy guy that could do more than anybody else, and he had life longevity. So I guess then they switched to the Nazis raiding his camp and getting the cube. Tesseract is what they called it. And they took the Tesseract and they Captain America, the Russians took the Tesseract and used it for an energy source and started making weapons from it that would basically lasers that would blue lasers that would disintegrate people and tanks and everything else. They equipped all their equipment with it, and then they tried to get out from underneath Hitler's finger. Pretty good. And then after the failed experiment, the guy got away. They turned Captain America into a dancing girl. He went around doing shows, with the girls, singing and dancing and trying to sell bonds so he can help the war effort. Then he gets to the place where his brother's brother's at was the 7th unit, 7th battalion, and they all got captured by the Russians or the Spectre or whatever it is they're using for the bad guy's name in this. I can't remember the name. Anyway, so he ends up taking off from camp after doing a couple shows. Gotta move down. After doing a couple shows, and then he ends up going to rescue his brother because he got the pretty lady that was there at the beginning to give him a plane ride close as he could to the front lines, and he bails out and give him an order because he's a full captain. She's not. Then he jumps off the plane, ends up going to the place where they have his brother and his battalion captured and held. Remember, this is all based in World War II. Vigorous health, yeah. I can't even talk right now. I don't know why. It's a fail for me. There you go. Anyway, so he got in there and broke in, knocked on the door, and they opened the door, and he beat him up and knocked him out and wouldn't let everybody out of their cages. And then they all escaped and headed back after taking down that base, capturing weapons and all kinds of fun stuff that are going on there. Nobody really knew what they had, the super soldiers. Anyway, so he met the guy that's running the bad guys brigade there. They fight a little bit. They're both about the same power, same strength, because they both underwent the treatment. We found out later on in the show. Then one of the bad guys escapes through a rocket, and the other bad guy escapes through the car. Well, the car didn't get very far because Captain America chases the bad guy into his aircraft. He's got the Tesseract, and Captain America wants it back. This turns out to be kind of funny. What's going on there? Okay, nothing major. Thought it was having problems, but it was just flashing a little bit. My recorder's was doing crazy things. So anyway, they used the car, the 3-axle car, to get our hero Captain America onto the aircraft, and they have a big old fight on there. The shield gets the one into the aircraft, and Captain America gets off the aircraft and back on, and he ends up winning and crashing him and the bad guys all into an ice float, and missed the dance that he was supposed to go with the girlfriend because they made a date. After a while, all they heard was crickets from the radio, and then they show him finding the machine again at the end, towards the end of the year, and reviving Captain America at the end. He's in New York City in a room dressed up so he looks like he's in the 40s. I got to get a haircut. It turned out to be kind of funny the way that turned out. And then, what did I push? What did you push? Huh? Oh, okay. Well, let's let this play out. I don't know what it was, but we'll let it play anyway. Don't care. Okay, this came out of this is a production of Marvel Studios, and this time they used Paramount Pictures to put it out instead of Disney Studios. Turned out to be a better movie this way. It came out in El Capitan theaters. It turned out to be. It was released to July 19th, 2011, and in the United States was released July 22nd, 2011. So it was released in Mexico before it was released here. That's weird. Anyway, so it was 124 minutes long. English, United States, of course. They spent a lot of money on making this one. It was $140 million for this one. And since this was the first Captain America, nobody really went and watched it because it probably had a funny poster, not enough advertising. It did make a profit, had a good profit, just about double. It made at the box office 370.6 million, which is pretty good for a movie like this. Made out of comics because people weren't sure about it at the time. So anyway, that's the gist of things. So we'll have to see what's coming up next, and we'll probably talk about that too. Or we'll probably talk about. I'm trying to get through all my movies. I'm early to the C's, not even to the B's yet. So that gives you an idea how many movies are back that you got to go watch every one of them to see if they've improved or not. If putting special effects on all these videos, and that's something else you should pay attention to. There's a new special effect in every movie or every video that I'm putting on this channel. And maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't, but it's there. Anyway, so we'll talk to you later. Bye now.